Welcome to WeLearn Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 25, Dalits. Topics which we are going to cover in this session are: who is a Dalit and what is the Dalit movement? Dalit movement in India. Coming towards the first topic, that is Dalit and Dalit movement. Dalit are those group of people who have faced social discrimination, including the untouchability. They largely belong to the economically disadvantaged group of our society. They are placed in the scheduled caste categories in our constitution. The category of Dalits was first used by Jyotiba Phule in the 19th century. The issues on which Dalit movement is launched are self-respect, harassment of women, payment of wages, forced labor or beggar, disputes over land, implementation of reservation policy, promotions in the job, denial of democratic rights like casting of votes, disrespect to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar at his statue, etc. Dalit movement in India. Dalit movement in India is taking place at the various levels, such as those of villages and towns, state and all India. It is taking place in those areas where Dalits are in position to agitate, as still in many parts of the country they are not able to raise their voice. Dalit movement in India can be divided into two periods: pre-independence period and post-independence period. Dalit movement in the colonial period. During the pre-independence period, there were Dalit movement at both levels in India, the national and the provincial. At the national level, M.K. Gandhi and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar attempted to make up the problems of Dalit. Gandhi found untouchability as a corrupt form of Hinduism and suggested that it can be solved by moral reforms of the Hindus. He coined the Harijans with the purpose to say that Dalit or untouchables were also people of God, like those of the high caste. Ambedkar, on the other hand, saw the real cause, untouchability, in the very nature of Hinduism and suggested that only solution to untouchability or caste discrimination lay in abolition of Hinduism or conversion of Dalit into another religion, preferably Buddhism. Before actually questioning the tenets of Hinduism or advocating conversion, Ambedkar had tried to eradicate untouchability within the fold of Hindu religion. The Adi Dharmis had been pushed to subordinate position by the later arrivals. He tried to revive the Adi Dharma. By the mid-1930s, the movement has petered out. Sri Narayana Guru developed a critique of Hinduism in Travancore which had influence beyond his own Isahava. The provincial level, Dalit leadership also responded to social reform movement of North India which took place in the early decade of 20th century, like the Arya Samaj. The Satnamis questioned the nation of social and rural hierarchy in two simultaneous ways, by rejecting the Hindu gods and goddesses and by rejecting the puja and purohit within the temple. Ambedkar was one of the two depressed classes representative invited to the conference. Ambedkar demanded separate electorate for the depressed classes. He claimed was supported by another representative of the depressed class from Madras, M.C. Raja. But Gandhiji opposed Ambedkar's proposal for the separate electoral for the depressed classes. Raja's supporters include prominent chamber leader from Maharashtra. Gandhi, on the other hand, sat on fast unto death on September 20th, 1932 against the communal award of the British was advocated the separate electorate. In order to avoid unplantable situation which could result following fast of Gandhi, Ambedkar relented and entered into the pact with Gandhi known as Pune Pact. The recommendations of Pune Pact were incorporated in the Government of India Act 1935. Ambedkar's party, Independent Labour Party, contested this election. He later converted ILP into the Scheduled Caste Federation. Congress and Gandhi were patronized towards the untouchables. Jagjeevan Ram emerged from such patronage. Next is the Dalit movement in the post-colonial period. Dalit movement in the post-independence period in India can be divided into three phases. Phase 1, 1950 to 1960, Phase 2, 1970s to 1980s, and Phase 3, 1990s onward. There has been a common feature of Dalit politics throughout the post-independence period, especially from the 1960s onward. Coming towards the first phase, that is between 1950s to 1960s. Implementation of the Universal Adult Franchise Reservation in educational and political institutions and in jobs of the scheduled caste as per the provision of the Constitution enabled a large number of them to take advantage of these facilities in the period following independence. The policies and strategies of Congress helped it create its social base which consisted of Dalit as major social group. The politicians of Dalit during the phase took as a constituent of the social base of the political parties, especially the Congress. On the cultural front, they felt that the Hindu religion does not provide them a respectable place. Now coming towards the second phase. This phase was marked by the combination of class and caste struggles. In the rural areas of West Bengal, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh, the Naxalite movement launched a struggle against the caste and class exploitation. Dalit Panther movement. An educated group of Dalit, young Dalit writers and poets in two major cities of Maharashtra set up an organization known as Dalit Panther in 1972. Influenced by Ambedkarism, Marxism and Negro literature, they aimed at rejecting the caste system which according to them was based on the Brahminical Hinduism. The origin of the Dalit Panther can be traced to a controversy which centered around the articles and poems written by a Dalit writer in a socialist magazine, Sadhana. Raja Dhale writing was most controversial of these writings. The Golpita's poems were also related to the exploitation of women. The high caste middle class felt outraged by the articles and demanded banning of the issues of sadhana which carried the article by Raja Dhale. Initially, the movement proclaimed to have an alliance of exploited people, Dalits, backward classes, workers, and peasants. Its program centered around the problem of women, rejection of Brahminical principle of purity and pollution, and fight against all kind of political and economic exploitation. With its male leadership having joined either the Congress or any other formation, the RPI movement has become almost a significant force. Two main leaders of the Dalit Panther, Raj Dhale and Namdev Bansal, developed differences on the ideological ground. The former, an ardent Ambedkarite, accused Namdev Dhasal, a Marxist, of ignoring the caste problem and helping the communists to penetrate the Dalit Panther movement. In 1976, the younger member of Dhale group, led by the Arun Kamble and Ram Das Adhavale, formed a new organization, Bharatiya Dalit Panther, in an attempt to give it an all-India face. Next is the Naxalite movement in Bihar. Jagjeevan Ram did not make any efforts to mobilize them, expecting for getting their votes. It was only since the last 1960s that Dalit of central Bihar were initiated into the political movement. In Bihar, there seemed to be one-to-one relationship between caste and class to a considerable extent. The landlords formed their caste senas in order to protect their class and trust. Party unity set up an public organization, Mazdoor Kisan Sangram Samiti, in collaboration of ex-socialist Dr. Vinyayan. The MKSS, along with another organization, that is Bihar Pradesh Kisan Sabha, which was formed at that time, organized demonstrations in 1981. These two organizations formed underground, armed and fought against the gangs of the landlords. Next is the Dalit movement in Karnataka. In Karnataka, also Dalit organized into the Dalit Sangharsh Samiti. It was an organization which was set up in 1973 and set up its unit in most districts of Karnataka. During 1974 and 1984, it took up the issues relating to wages of the agricultural labor, Devdasi and reservation. It held study groups to discuss the problem of Dalits. The Bhusa controversy set a strong anti-caste tendency, which was replaced a journal Dalit voice set up by the journalist Raj Shekhar. Dalit voice attacked Brahmins as Nazis and the left movement as Brahmo communist and termed Dalit as born Marxist. According to the editor of Dalit Voice, the main issue of Dalit OBC mobilization is not the alliance between the Dalit and the OBCs, the leadership of Dalits over the OBCs. Next, coming towards the third phase, that is 1990s onward. The 1990s have seen the proliferation of Dalit organization in different states of the country. The cause of the BSP in Uttar Pradesh is most important. The BSP was formed on April 14, 1984 by its president Kashiram. Before forming BSP, Kashiram mobilized Dalit under the banner of two organizations, that is the BAMCEF and DS4. The BSP aimed to mobilize the majority other sections of the society. The Bahujan Samaj, consisting of Dalit, backward classes and religious minorities which exclude the high caste like Brahmins, Rajputs and Banyas. The BSP believes that the majority high caste have been using the votes of majority communities or the Bahujan Samaj. The BSP has been able to consolidate its position among Dalits mainly for its strategy of electoral alliance and the public policies. From the 1993 Assembly elections of UP onwards, the BSP has entered into alliance with the major political formulations which could help it win the Assembly and parliamentary elections, or in the post-poll alliance which help it from the government. The fall of Mulayam Singh-led government was followed by its alliance with the BJP, which enabled Mayawati to become the first Dalit woman chief minister of any state. The rise of BSP was imparted a sense of pride and confidence among the Dalit in the country. A special focus of BSP-led coalition government in UP on the Dalit in its policies has caused resentment among the non-Dalit, both the high caste as well as the backward class. Now in the end, there is a questionnaire for you. Questions are: discuss the factors responsible for the rise of Dalit Panther. Describe the basic feature of Dalit movement during the 1990s. That's all for the session. Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.